I welcome you all to this next session of our cloud computing. Today we are going to continue with the next parts and details of the virtualization concept. We have seen some of the virtualization concepts. Okay, I'm sharing the screen PPT with you. I assume myself is audible and PPT is visible. If there is any problem, let me know through the chat box. Mark your attendance at the chat box also. Okay, we are currently seeing the what do we mean by the virtualization concept under the cloud computing. Virtualization is nothing but the operating multiple operating systems on a single machine that we have seen, giving the illusion that each OS is running thus on the real hardware. That every OS will feel that it's the only OS running on that underlying hardware, and this is will be implemented by using the concept or by using the one of the monitor like virtual machine monitor VMM or virtual machine itself, and it is also called as a hypervisor. We have seen that what do we mean by the hardware virtualization, that there is a in between hypervisor and the applications or number of OS can be run using the virtual machine on the underlying server hardware. That in the virtualization definition, virtualization is the technology to run multiple or same or different operating system which is completely isolated from each other. We have seen the concept of dual boot system like a Windows and Linux running on the same machine. That is the basics of virtualization. That is nothing but the virtualization, types of virtualization, hardware, OS, server. We have seen up to the server, and now we have to see in the desktop and other points, application, virtualization, etc. Now, what are the characteristics of virtualization? We do achieve the security and resource isolation by doing the virtualization, efficiency, availability of the resources, serviceability of the resources, underlying hardware, etc. Flexibility is achieved, and along with the agility, we have discussed all this point in the previous session. That's why I'm going somewhat fast because we have to reach up to the network virtualization by today. This is a virtualized environment wherein there are three components are playing the major role. That's a guest, then the host and the virtualization layer. Guest might be any particular virtual image applications are there. Then the virtualization layer, that's a hypervisor, virtual hardware, virtual storage or virtual networking, software emulation it is done through the software emulation. That's a middle point. Then the host, underlying host, that can be any physical storage, that can be any physical networking resource or physical hardware. These are the types of virtualization we have discussed. We have discussed the last time the server virtualization. Server, these are the modes of doing or channels of achieving virtualization. Sharing, that is one of the virtualization technique. Then the aggregation is one of the virtualization technique. Emulation is one of, and isolation. These are the modes or channels by which we can achieve, we can implement virtualization concept between the physical and virtual resources. We have seen the server virtualization, that's a virtualized server architecture. Number of OS are there, number on the virtualization layer is there, number of operating systems are there. We can achieve the server virtualization in terms of the Oracle like a database server, SQL database server, application servers can be virtualized, print server can be virtualized file or email server. Like today we are using the Gmail. If as if we are using the Gmail as if we are the only user of that Gmail server. There are number of users, but that particular server, underlying server, hypervisor by the Google Cloud gives us emulation that we are the only user using that particular Gmail server. That is a server virtualization. We have seen how the server virtualization has been evolved during over the last 50 years, right from 1960s to the this particular 2000 or 21st century era. This is a physical server. Above to that, there is a hypervisor. Then hypervisor can have the number of virtual machines. Each virtual machine will have the separate OS. That OS can be same one or different one. Means this can be the Linux OS, this can be the Windows OS, this can be the any other particular OS. Means OS can be the different one, and that's how virtualization is achieved for the customized application. These are the benefits of the server virtualization, that the more utilization and the basic, it is the first steps towards the cloud. Server virtualization is, it is nothing but the first steps toward the cloud computing technology. Advantages of the server virtualization are the reduced physical resource cost, speedy setup is possible. We can create the backups and we can gain the flexibility by using the server virtualization. Now we are coming towards the network virtualization, sorry, storage virtualization. Now what do we mean by the storage virtualization? Okay, now this is the underlying physical storage. A storage devices, number of storage devices you can see in this diagram at the bottom. Then we can arrange them, organize that storage devices in particular pools. Pools means nothing but a cluster, or you can say the bunch of resources, bunch of, in this case, bunch of server storage devices. Okay, now this can be termed as a virtual storage, like a pool A consisting of storage device 1 and some part of 2. Then the pool B consisting of the latter part of, say, second storage device and the first part of the third storage device, and pool C is consisting of the latter part of the third and total part of the fourth storage device. That is a virtual storage. Then above to that, there is a virtual servers, that can be n number of virtual servers we can have, and again there can be the physical servers underlying to that virtual servers, and in between them there is a network resources which are being utilized. These are the types of storage virtualization. The first one, that is a block virtualization we can do, disk virtualization, then the tape virtualization, and the last one, that is a file virtualization. Network NAS means the network allocation system, that the virtualize represented to the application virtualizes. In the block virtualization, we virtualize the particular storage blocks, whereas in the disk virtualization we abstract the disk into the chunks of storage pools that are used to create the LUNs. These are the storage chunks. Then the tape virtualization, we can create a virtual tape on the disk storage system. And the last one, there is a file virtualization, virtualizes the network allocation system in toto and file servers in toto into a single namespace. Now, what do we mean by the common storage architecture? This is the particular disk storage. Then above to that, there is a file system. File system in turns have the networking done. Again, on the networking, there can be a network file system as such, and disk storage can be again have the direct file system. And above to all to them, there are some particular applications. We will see them. What do you mean by the DAS? That's a direct attached storage. This is the direct attached storage. Okay, disk storage, then the direct file system is there, and to that file system there is a one application attached, and this is nothing but the direct attached storage. Then the network attached storage, NAS, file level computer data storage connected to the computer network. Here is a disk storage connected to the file system through the network, and that is the NAS. Okay, this is the NAS. Then the SAN, that is a storage area network. We have seen the SAN here. This is the middleware. Middle in at middle there is a SAN, that is a storage area network. Attach the remote storage devices to the server. Remote storage devices. If you are seeing in this diagram, these are the storage devices at the bottom. Okay, and these are the servers, okay, and these servers are being attached to the physical storage by using this SAN, that is a storage area network. This is the storage area network, and using that, during in between networking is also there, and using that they have state storage and servers are attached to each other. That is nothing but the SAN, that is the storage area network. We have to mug up all this concept, because at the university exam, now this in this particular same, they though they are taking the multiple choice university MCQ base, but at your same end exam, which is going to be held, might be in the month of January only, that will be a regular university theory exam, and we have to write down all this concept in theory. That's why it's your duty to get it written. I have shared many of the PPTs, PDFs at our WhatsApp group also, at our Google Classroom also. Do write it in your notebook on a regular basis. Okay, that is very much essential. It is essential to understand the concept of cloud also, but it is also essential to get past your university exams. There, for that purpose, you should be able to write down your answer. Okay, should not be like, you should have practice of writing. Don't forget, or don't withdraw the writing practice. Okay, it is very much essential. Next point. Now, what are the advantages of storage virtualization? The first advantages, it is a easy retrieving and uploading, as shown in this diagram. This storage, we can have the retrieval of data or uploading of data possible by the NAS, SAN, and DAS. That's why it is easier. Then the better management. All these are the better management concept. You can have the better data management by using direct attached storage, or by using the storage area network, or by using the first one, that is the network attached storage. That is a better management. Security, we can have the in between networking firewall, in between file system firewall, antiviruses at every level, firewall, data filtration concept at every level, encryption description concept at every level, and that's why we can achieve the security mechanism also. Now, why the storage virtualization is important in a cloud computing? Because it performs the task efficiently. Okay, it performs the task efficiently. That is the first point. Then wide area network management can be there. Wide area network, go to the previous slide. These are the remote physical servers, and these are the remote physical storage. That is a wide area network. Okay, this is the nothing but the pictorial representation of wide area network by using the storage attached networks. Okay, SAN, storage area network, sorry. That is the, we can achieve the WAN management. Then we can have the disaster recovery. Okay, now what do you mean by the disaster recovery? Suppose there is a some particular data disaster in dash, then the same data in this file system, suppose in direct attached storage, then you can attach.
रेटिंग का दिया था क्या हमने?
Hello,
नेगेटिव व्यू ही है सिर्फ इस
hello,
बड़ा नहीं ना
please switch off your mic.
ये हो रहा है
Anyone's, someone's mic is
ये
open.
हो गया
Mute yourself, please. Thank you.
नहीं यहाँ पे भी नहीं था सर
Hello.
वाला है तो सर
Mute yourself. Whose mic is on?
अपने बनाने के बाद ध्यान में रख, बस उसको पूछेंगे
तन्वीर
customer rating
राठौड़।
ये सब अपने को तो वहां से रिफ्लेक्ट करना है ना।
Tanvir Rathod, please mute yourself.
देखो नहीं आ रही
Okay. We will continue. Suppose this dash has some disaster, then we can attach, we can access the same disk storage by using either the storage area network, that is SAN, or by using the network attached storage, or that is the NAS. Means you can have the disaster recovery. Okay. Then the storage tiering is there. Storage tiering means you can have the multiple layer of the storage access mechanism. That is a 3-tier, 2-tier system. You can have the multiple layer. Okay, these are the multiple layers possible in a storage virtualization. Then the three benefits, further benefits of the storage virtualization. The first one, easy storage provisioning. Okay, you can have the easy virtual disk can be created, resized, and assigned to the host in a fraction of time. it takes provision to the storage, physical storage. Means it's easily storage provisioning can be done. Okay. Then the non-destructive data migration, by having the perhaps it is the greatest benefit of the storage virtualization is the ability to migrate data from old equipment to the new, or from the old one storage tier to the another. Okay, without bringing system to the offline and disrupting applications and user. Let's see how it is possible. Suppose we have to store something, we have to get this particular data storage migrated to the any other data storage. Okay, then without, suppose we are doing that by the, suppose the direct access or direct attached storage, direct access system, that is the DAS. But simultaneously we are keeping NAS and SAN network, or SAN, NAS and SAN access mechanism working by, while DAS is migrating data. जब तक डैश आपका डेटा माइग्रेट कर रहा है, उसी वक्त साइमल्टेनियसली कंकरेंटली NAS and SAN can be kept working. That is a major benefit or advantage of storage virtualization under the cloud computing concept. Okay, then the simpler storage management, we have seen what do we mean by the WAN, that is a wide area network management. That is nothing but the simpler storage management. Means the virtualization brings a central management point and standard set of services to the heterogeneous server storage devices, simplifying the tasks such as mirroring and replication. Now we are coming towards the next virtualization or next virtualization concept mechanism, that is a network virtualization. Till point we have seen the hardware virtualization, then the server virtualization, and now we are going to discuss the network virtualization. Okay, now this is the basic diagram. Here in this diagram we are currently seeing there, it's an centrally it's an internet, number of access point, AP means the access point, number of users are there. Okay, user can be of type of media server, user can be a direct user like user B. Okay, that there can be a some direct connection between the access points like this particular okay, and there can be any virtual connection between the access point like this dotted diagram, dotted lines, and these are the solid line, these are the direct, and these are the dotted lines means virtual connections. Okay, means every access point in way is connected to all other access point. Suppose this is the media server access point is connected to this to access point directly, then it is connected to the virtually also to the this access point, and that's how we can achieve the network virtualization. Okay, now that is a network as a system or network as a service. Okay, these are the cloud user. We have seen the what do we mean by the infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. This is a cloud virtualization platform, that is nothing but the hypervisor. Virtualization platform means hypervisor, or VMM, that is a virtual machine monitor, or VM, that is a virtual machine itself. And in that particular cloud virtualization platform, we can have the inbuilt network virtualization platform, and using that inbuilt network virtualization platform, we can achieve the NAS, that is nothing but the network as a service or the network virtualization. Both concepts are the similar or network as a service or network virtualization. Underlying are the network resources which have been virtualized or which have been made available as a service, whereas all other are the computing and the resource storage resources. Okay, now what do you mean by the network virtualization? Network provisioning and expansion is a complex. Of course, network provision, make a network provisioned means station and working, it's a complex one today. It is very essential to migrate software defined networks, then decoupling of control planes from data planes, that is one kind of the network virtualization. Then building centralized sets of rules for the firewalls and load balancers, etc. That is a one part of parameter, one characteristics of the network virtualization. Acceptance of the open interfaces instead of blocking into the proprietary solutions. Internal virtualization, and implementations like Akari and Fire. These are the examples. Okay. What do you mean by the network virtualization? Network virtualization means nothing but to ability to run the multiple virtual network that each has a separate control and data plane, okay, and coexist together on the top of one physical network. That is nothing but the network virtualization. As shown in the diagram, there are some network like this is the one network, and it Toto, they have been considered as a single network. Although these are the separate network interconnected to each other, in Toto they have been considered as a single network. As like in the underlying pyramid-like network, there are some parent-child networks are there, and above to that there is a one physical network. Okay, in this cloud is itself a one physical network, and underlying to it there are some multiple physical networks. As like in the Windows server, those who have experience on working on the Windows server operating system, we can create the work groups over that operating system. Okay, that work groups are the virtual one. We can attach as many number of users to that work group. Any user may get migrated from one work group to the any other work group at any time of any time 24 by 7 basis. That is nothing but the virtual network, and that total server operating system or Windows server as such, that is one physical network. Okay, and work group are the virtual networks. Okay, last two slides are there. Then what are the advantages of the network virtualization? The first advantage is the infrastructure utilization. Of course, infrastructure is being shared, and that will obviously reduce the infrastructure requirement and the energy cost. That is the infrastructure utilization. Then the scalability we can achieve. We can extend the resources as per need and administrator can dynamically create or delete virtual network resources. As right now we are thinking, we have discussed the one user allocated to the one work group under Windows Server can have the any other work group also at any time. That is the administrator or dynamically creating and deleting the virtual network resources. Agility can be achieved, resilience can be achieved. Agility means that automation and automation orchestrated together with other IT infrastructure can be achieved. Then resilience means virtual network will automatically redirect packets by redundant links. Okay, means we can achieve the redirecting of the data packets in case of the disaster. Virtual network can be easily recreated, as like in the Windows we are having now the backup and recovery in Windows also. That's nothing but the disaster recovery. Then security is there. Increased data traffic isolation and user segmentation can have the, as like in the Windows operating server operating system, we can have the administrator as a one user and others as a guest user. That is the isolation and user segmentation. And of course, virtual network should work with the firewall software. Firewall will be as like in any Windows server operating system or multi-user operating system like Linux, there are inbuilt firewall softwares. These are the some of the benefits of the network virtualization. I have shared all these PPTs, PDFs, videos on our Google Classroom. I request all of you to please log into the Google Classroom regularly and go through all that academic resources, study materials, go through the videos, listen to that videos, go through the whatever the PDFs are there, and try to get it written, handwritten on your notebooks. In case of any difficulty, you can contact to me at any particular time. You can contact through the Google Classroom. You can contact on the WhatsApp group. You can contact directly on my mobile number. It's very much possible, and you can get your all queries solved. Don't keep any kind of confusion in your mind, because cloud computing is such a nice thing that it will build up your career in toto. Okay, but you are keeping some kind of confusion, some kind of half learning with you, then it's very tedious job for you to build your career in a cloud computing platform. Now these are the some of the benefits. It enhances the security. We have seen that restricts the access to the node virtual network to the another virtual network, as like we are shifting from suppose one work group to the another work group. Then obviously you will require some kind of privileges. Password can be there. Then it will isolate the sensitive data from one virtual network to the another, enhances performance, improves the manageability, improves the utilization, and reduce the capex. Capex means nothing but the capital expenditure. And where there are OPEX, OPEX, that's a operational expenditure, revenue expenditure. Capital expenditure means which the expenditure we are doing at the very initial stage, and the revenue expenditure or OPEX or operational expenditures are the expenditure we are doing on the periodic basis. On after the installation on the regular basis. These are the OPEX and these are the CAPEX. Okay. This is nothing but some kind, this is the virtualization concept. If there are any queries, you can ask. We will have this fast recap of this PPT. We have started with the virtualization concept. What do you mean by the hypervisor, host OS and bootstrap? Then what is the virtualization, VMM and hypervisor? Then what is do you mean by the basically the hardware virtualization like the dual boot systems? Then the introduction to virtualization. Then the types of virtualization, hardware, OS, server, desktop, application. Then characteristics of the virtualization, security, resource isolation, efficiency, flexibility, agility, serviceability and availability. Some of the more characteristics like encapsulation and transparency in the operation. Then three major components of the virtualization: guest, host, and virtualization layer, that is a hypervisor or VMM using software emulation. Then the types of virtualization like server, desktop, application, network, storage. Modes of doing virtualization, these are the modes or channels or ways of doing, ways of implementing virtualization: sharing, aggregation, emulation, isolation. We have discussed them. Between the physical and virtual resources, these are the modes available. How you can virtualize the physical resource to a virtual resource: by using isolation, by using emulation, aggregation and sharing. Then we have seen the server virtualization: Oracle, database servers, virtualization, email, file, and print server virtualization, evolution of server virtualization over last 50 years. What do we mean by the hypervisor? Then it's the first steps towards the cloud, advantages of server virtualization. Then what do we mean by the network virtualization, or sorry, storage virtualization? How to achieve the NAS, that is the network attached storage, then the direct attached storage and the storage area network and underlying disk storage. These are the ways of achieving or ways of implementing storage virtualization, advantages and importance of the storage virtualization. Then the three benefit, more benefit like the easy storage provisioning, non-destructive data migration, simpler storage management. Then the network virtualization we have discussed in today's session. How we can have the direct access point and the virtual access point between the number of user at the network. What do you mean by the network virtualization? How it is achieved? That's the network virtualization. As the each will be multiple virtual networks, group of multiple virtual networks which will have the separate control and data plane and will coexist together on the top of physical network. That is nothing but the network virtualization or network as a service, NAS. Okay, network as a service, wherein we are virtualizing the network underlying network resources. These are the some of the advantages of network virtualization: infrastructure, scalability, agility, resilience, and security. Benefits of the network virtualization: enhancing the security mechanism, enhancement in the performance, improvement in the manageability, improves the utilization, and reduces the capital expenditure. This is nothing but with respect to the virtualization. Now we will see one small video of the hypervisor. Let me share the video with you. At the end of video, I am going to conclude the session. If anyone has not yet marked his attendance at the chat box, please mark your attendance. I am sharing the video link with you. It will be shared. Yes. I hope it is audible and visible both. If in case of any difficulty, let me know through the chat box. Yes.
What is a hypervisor? The hypervisor is the key to enabling virtualization. It's software installed on top of computer hardware, creating the virtualization layer, and acting as a platform for the virtual machines or VMs to be created on. It manages the sharing of physical resources into virtual.
That is a hypervisor. A meaning of hypervisor. I have shared this video at the Google Classroom. You can download it.
There are two main types of hypervisors. The first is a Type 1 hypervisor known as a bare metal hypervisor. In this type, the hypervisor also has its own operating system and can be installed directly on the computer hardware. So at the bottom you see the Type 1 hypervisor. It's installed directly on the computer hardware, and it creates the virtualization layer on top of which the virtual machines are created on. VMware's Type 1 hypervisor is the ESXi server.
These are the type 1 hypervisor, wherein that hypervisor has its own operating system. That is a example of virtualized operating system, and it can run the number of VMs on the VMware virtualization layer.
The second type of hypervisor is a Type 2 hypervisor known as a hosted hypervisor. In this type, the hypervisor is a software application that's installed on top of a host operating system. So you have your computer hardware and you already have a host operating system like Windows or Linux or OS X, and then you install the Type 2 hypervisor on top of it. And that creates the virtualization layer in which you can create your virtual machines.
This is the second type of hypervisor. The first one was a hardware hypervisor. That's why it is called as a bare metal. Now this is a software hypervisor, wherein its host operating system means the native operating system is there on which type 2 hypervisor is installed. And using that type 2 hypervisor, there are the VMware virtualization layers or virtualization layer as such, and above to that there can be the virtual machines, number of virtual machines, which each one with the same or different operating system and number of user defined, user centric and customized applications.
VMware's Type 2 hypervisor is VMware Workstation Professional, VMware Workstation Player, and VMware Fusion for the Apple OS X operating system. VMware's Type 1
VMware is one company actually which have been providing the hypervisor hardware and software to the cloud service provider companies. VMware, you can Google. VMware is one kind of the software and hardware mechanism also, which is a company like any other cloud service provider company, which is being
hypervisor
providing these
is the
particular
ESXi
servers, that servers like ESXi servers, etc.
server. In this image you can see that there are 3 physical servers, and each physical server is running an ESXi server operating system, which creates the virtualization layer on top of which virtual machines can be created and run. An ESXi server is managed by the VMware vCenter management server. In this image you can see that on top of everything,
This is the one of kind of mechanism of that company or CSP, wherein they are using some ESXi server and vCenter server underlying, which manages the underlying VMs, virtual machines on that ESXi virtual server.
is the vCenter server, which manages all of the host ESXi hypervisors. In short, the ESXi hypervisor and the vCenter management server are VMware's core virtualization platform.
Okay, this is something
What
with respect to the virtualization concept. I have shared all these audio video resources, PDF on our group and Google Classroom also. Do visit to that Google Classroom, get login regularly on the Google Classroom. At the next session of cloud computing, we will see the Microsoft or Google Cloud or Azure. I will let you know that which particular technology we are going to discuss in detail now, because this is up to the third chapter we are now complying with the, and now at us during the second chapter there are some cloud platform to be discussed like Azure and others. We will discuss them at the next session. I am concluding the session over here. Wish you all the best. Thank you for patience listening. Wish you happy weekend.